How do you build something of your own when work eats you alive, your family needs you, and by 9 p.m. you have nothing left? I'm a father, a husband, and I work a corporate job. Right now, it's somewhere between 8 and 11 p.m. My wife is watching a show. I'm hunched over my old laptop writing this script, half present, half somewhere else entirely. I think a lot of you know that feeling, trying to hold your personal life together while your job slowly hollows you out, emotionally, mentally, piece by piece. Every night you want to crash on the couch, fire up a game, put on Netflix and just disappear for a while. I get it. I've been there. But I've been dreaming about breaking out of my golden cage for a long time now. I've tried a lot of things, failed at most of them, and that's how we ended up here, you and me, in this place, at this time. Today, I want to show you what my day actually looks like, not the mechanics of absent age. You will get that in other episodes. This one is about the person behind it, the sacrifices, the failures, and the cost, mine and my family's, especially my wife's, who almost every evening watches me disappear into a screen, fighting my own demons and the ones I've created, trying to build something that's mine and escape the grind. I am Genioslav, and if any of this sounds familiar, you are exactly where you need to be. So every day starts differently. Depends on whether I'm going into the office or working from home. Let's go with the hardcore version. Office day. 5:50 a.m. Up. After the standard few minutes of hitting snooze, obviously. Coffee for me and my wife. Get dressed. Pack everything up. Help get the kids ready. Load everyone into the car. First stop, daycare. My son gets to run wild with other kids, which is great. Then my wife and our little one go to her parents, where my daughter gets to sit in the garden with grandma and live her small, magnificent little life. And then I take myself 45 goddamn minutes to the office. One way. 8 hours waiting on the other end. Here's the thing though. When I step back and look past the managers losing their minds over every new company newsletter, I feel this strange solidarity with 99.9% of the people around me. Most of us are just trying to survive. We show up, do what needs doing, and leave. No sentiment, just following the programming. Some days I grind through 8 hours with headphones on, barely aware of what's around me. Other days something primal wakes up and I want to destroy everything inside. I'm not a fan of repetitive corporate work. I chose it because I used to work abroad, spending weekdays away and coming home on weekends. When a position opened up close to home, I left a well-paying job in the country of a certain unfulfilled painter and took it. For a while, I had an internal break that kept certain things in check. Then that break wore out. Management changes, new supervisors, and suddenly an environment that was survivable became an unbearable, fermenting pile of shit. And everyone tells you, it's just 8 hours. then you go home. But be honest with yourselves. How much of that do you carry back into your personal life? I carry it back with me, especially on office days. When I finally come home and I can hug my 2.5-year-old son, I pray that whatever's sitting inside me after 8 hours in that building doesn't bleed into my home. People playing each other like cards, handing out promotions not for actual work, but for the finest ass kissing. And after all of that, I drive home. Some days it's genuinely hard to make myself to go back. But when I do get through the door, there are days when I give everything to being with my family, play with my son, carry my daughter around the apartment. Everyone tells me it only gets harder. I'm trying anyway. And then there are days when I come home and it's just okay. No weight, no darkness. I can eat in peace, actually be a father and a husband. Those 2, maybe 3 hours with them, that's the most important time of my day. Once the kids are in bed, I sit down to write, refine mechanics, and fight the hardest battle, usually with myself. 5 evenings a week, 3 to 4 hours each. That's my attempt to break out of the cage. This takes time. It takes evenings. It costs my family something too. And I'm aware of that every single night. If any of this landed with you, hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me if you know that feeling. And if you want to see where this goes, subscribe, because this is just the beginning. And if you want to support what I'm building directly, Coffee link is in the description. No tears, no pressure, just a place to throw something in if you think this is worth it. Either way, I'm glad you are here. At some point, I started using AI heavily to support things I was struggling with. It started simple. Help me write this, translate this, rewrite this in more human language. And yes, the irony is not lost on me. I was literally asking an AI to make my own words sound more human. The biggest chunk so far has been generating artwork for the game, enemies, player characters. The goal was to make even the prototype feel immersive. Good visuals in a game that physically sits on a table are the second pillar of immersion, right after gameplay. Every element has to carry the weight of the world. I know that sounds like a perfectionist talking. With this game, I let my imagination run completely free. And somewhere along the way, my creative process accelerated like nothing I'd experienced before. What used to take 3 months started taking 1. Work that would have needed a small team, I was doing alone. I bought the subscription, and suddenly I realized I can actually ship this game. In one of my early videos, someone commented, "I thought it will be a good project, then you got to AI. It is a slop, no doubt." I love people with a blanket bias against AI. I get it. Some livelihoods are genuinely at risk, and that's real. But if you don't understand what AI is actually being used for here, how it helps with research, structure, tasks that would otherwise require a whole team, then I have one answer. There's the door. It says exit. I will not apologize for doing everything in my power to make this happen. AI is the great equalizer. In a few years, maybe sooner, people will be producing better films and series from their bedrooms than Hollywood can keep up with. And maybe then developers, authors, filmmakers will start creating for people again instead of feeding us politically saturated mush dressed up as something we should be grateful for. Alright, end of rant. Back to absent age. 5 evenings a week. Where do I find the energy for that? I could tell you some story about how David Goggins changed my life and I started grinding. But no, nothing that glamorous. About a year and a half ago, I looked at my situation clearly. With my skills in this company, there is no real growth waiting for me. And that's when I decided, even if the odds are slim, I'm going all in on this project. There are still so many unknowns. Will this channel ever build real momentum before a Kickstarter? Will my system convince people? Will this extra half job worth of work, which hasn't made a single penny yet, ever start paying for itself? You look at the stats, you see the mountain ahead, and you keep going anyway. Sometimes I don't find motivation. There are days I force myself to sit down when all I want is to collapse on the couch. But whenever I can, I work. Some days more productive, some days less. I love what I do, but there are moments I want to throw it all away. I won't give into that. Because the system that keeps both me and you locked up, that's exactly what is counting on. That I will give up. That I will come crawling back with my tail between my legs to grind for someone else's bottom line. And when I pile on top of that the genuine bitterness of how that work actually looks, the toxic positivity, the corporate newspeak, the pointless meetings, the mutual ass kissing without lubricant, the rampant nepotism. In those moments of pressure, even when I don't feel like it, suddenly I feel like it. My goal is to reclaim the freedom that every one of us deserves, but not everyone has the strength to reach for. I'm not a game designer by trade. I'm doing this semi-professionally, rolling my metaphorical 2d6. And with every day, I push this project forward. Every upload, every time I tell my wife, yeah, I'm going to work on YouTube and the game. I believe that every fight I take on is one more step toward one day giving this everything I've got. Genioslav out.